Okay, now that we've made line graphs and bar graphs, what if we wanted to make a map? So to make a map, the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a variable or a series that is understood to be a geographic series by Tableau. So what we're going to look for is along the left-hand column here, we're going to look for the little globe. And what this globe means is that Tableau understands that what we're looking at is a geographic variable. So we can click and drag this geographic variable to columns. And right now, all it gives us is the names spread out, which is not what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top right, click the Show Me, and click this Filled Map. All right, we're going to click it. Tableau is going to think for a little bit. And now what it's going to do is it's going to take us to a geographic map. But the problem is we have data for all 88 counties, but we're only showing, it looks like 28 of them. So we still have 60 unknown counties that Tableau is not putting there. So that's a problem. We don't want to go back and individually code the latitude and longitude for each of these things. So let's see what the problem is. There's two ways to look at to get the information on where Tableau is getting confused. So the first and the simplest is to simply click on the bottom right, the 60 unknowns. All right, and it'll give us an option to filter the data, which is just to say that we like the map as it is and don't worry about the missing ones, or we can click Edit Locations. So that's where we're going to go, but we're going to get to it through the other way. So we're going to go up to Map, Edit Locations. Again, we can do this either way. We can click here and click Edit Locations, or we can go to Map and click Edit Locations. All right, now that we're here, let's see what the problem is. For all these counties, the matching location is ambiguous. So what does that mean? That means that within the United States, there's several counties that have the same name. So Tableau doesn't know where on the map to put these counties. So in order to fix this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the state province row right here, and we're going to say Fixed. So Tableau is going to know that these counties can only come from a fixed state. And obviously this is Ohio, so we're going to scroll down to Ohio, and look at that. Tableau automatically understands where these counties are. So there we go. We've made a map. But now we want to show something about this map. We want to convey some information about the data that we have. So what we're going to look at first is we're going to look at total taxes abated. So we're going to click and drag total taxes abated to color. Okay, so now what this gives us is this gives us a sliding color scale of the amount of taxes abated in Ohio. So it looks like from this very first look that Franklin County has a lot of taxes abated, and it looks like Hamilton County has a lot of taxes abated. So which sort of makes sense. Now, what if we wanted a different sort of color scale? What if we wanted a diverging color scale? We can do that by either clicking on the legend itself, or we can click Color, Edit Colors. So now that we're here, we get to choose the colors that we want if we click on the drop-down menu for palette. Let's do a red-black diverging, and let's reverse it. So this means that the more tax abatement spending there is, the deeper the red gets. Okay? But now, if we do this, we see this isn't a really exciting visualization because we get to see very little variation in terms of how these counties are spending, because Franklin County is spending $14 billion, whereas the other counties spend zero or in the tens of millions. So this is throwing off our scale. We can manually adjust this. So once again, let's click on our Edit Colors, and we'll click on the Advanced option, and we'll specify where we want the start, the end, and the center. So obviously we want 0 to be the start because there are some counties that spend 0, but we don't really need the highest value to be the end value because that'll throw off our scale. What we'll do instead is we'll set an arbitrary cutoff of, let's say, 500 million, and we'll center at somewhere that isn't exactly the center at 10 million. So what this does is when we apply this, is it gives us only a small range of gray and a large range of red. And let's see how this affects the map. Cool, so here we go. So now we see that the deepest red is in counties that spend well over $500 million. Now, we know that none of these counties spend $500 million or however many billions of dollars, or frankly, in the county's case, $14 billion in a single year. So what Tableau is doing is it's taking all of the data for all of the years and applying it to this map. What if we only wanted to look at a single year? We can do that by using the filters shelf. So what this will do is it will filter the data so that only the data for a specific year is included. And we can do that by clicking and dragging year to filters. So now this gives us the option to choose which year we want. For right now, we'll keep it at all the years so that our map is not going to change. Okay, but what if we want to give the end user an option of which year to see? What we're going to do is we're going to click year. Once the pill is inside filters, we're going to drop down to show filter, and now we have a view that lets our end user specify which view he or she would prefer. In fact, we can look at any combination of these. But what if we don't want the user to have this capability, because it doesn't really make sense to look at 2010 plus 2013 plus 2015. What if we want our end user only to be able to specify a single year per view of the map? What we can do is we can click the little drop down menu up top here and click single value drop down. So what this does is it gives us a nice little drop down menu where the user can select all the years, can select a single year, or select a mutually exclusive other year. And so in this way, we can sort of see the changes over time in our map in a very intuitive and straightforward way. If we want to be even more specific, we can, or user-friendly, what we can do is we can edit the title of our little drop-down menu and call it select year. There we go. So now the last little piece of information that we want to show in this visualization is the fact that what we're dealing with is money. So right now I am moused over Franklin County and total tax abatement clocks in at $2,693,000,000. But we want to make sure that our end user knows that these are dollars. So this is an easy enough fix in Tableau. What we're going to do is we're going to tell Tableau that what we're measuring here is currency. So we're going to go to our measures shelf, click the drop down menu for total taxes abated, go to default properties, click on number format, and we're going to select currency custom. What this allows us to do is it allows us to select how many decimal places we want and what the units are in. We'll choose millions. There we go. So now we see on our scale, our color scale, we have dollar signs. And when we mouse over, we see that these numbers are in millions, which is a lot nicer to look at, and we have the dollar sign. So we're going to name this Total Taxes Abated Map 2010 through 2015, and we're done.